Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings. Now let's get straight to it. All right, so I'm watching this show here, or I was watching this show, and I noticed something. All right, I noticed a link with the scriptures and what's being said in this show here called How to Get Away with Murder. All right, season 5, episode 14, Make Me the Enemy. And the link that I'm seeing here is with Genesis, the 25th chapter. Starting out about, I want to say the 29th verse, all the way down to the end, about the 34th verse, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, where it talks about how Esau sold his birthright to Jacob. All right. And we know that biblically, Esau is who we call today the so-called white man. Matter of fact, you're looking at two Edomites on the screen right now. All right. And Jacob, his twin brother that he sold his birthright to, is who we call the so-called black man and woman today of the captivity. All right. Or Negroes, or, whatever the case is. But anyway, because that's not actually a race. Black is not a race. Mexican, things like that. It's just all bywords, what the Bible calls bywords. But anyway, so I'm going through here, or at least I was, and I noticed something that was said I thought was interesting. Now, if you don't know this show, you'd have to kind of watch this thing all the way through to really see what was going on. But you don't even need much context, because I've seen the entire show and it still really didn't fit what was going on. So let's just hear what they say and then go in from there.
You want to talk about broken? Why the hell were you so scared of me the second that you met me? I could smell it off of you. It's why I never respected you.
Hey, you don't respect anyone but
You let fear control your whole life. Fear of losing status.
So here it is right here. So pay attention to what they say right here.
Face.
Oh, and you're just so strong, right?
At least I don't hide behind the color of my skin.
No, you're hiding in your anger.
No, that...
Hiding behind the color of your skin, that's nothing, that's all plain, but it's right here. Let's see what they say.
You hiding behind your white boy privilege. You had to sit behind the desk and actually make a choice that would cost you something.
Trust me, just
So
knowing you
of
is...
course I'm gonna believe that you killed Nate Sr. Anything to hold on to every pathetic crumb you think is your birthright.
Pathetic crumb that you think is your birthright. Now, again, without context, you may be thinking, well, that's explained further on the show why this woman here, what is this actor's name? Her name on the show is Annalise Keating. But what's this chick's name? Y'all know this lady's name, this actor right here. She's pretty famous at this point. Been on a bunch of movies at this point in time. But anyway, point is though, yeah, so she says that you're holding on to your pathetic birthright. And I watched the whole show and nothing set up to this point really justify her saying that. So I just thought that was interesting. And to me, that links up with the so-called white man today. He's still sour about his forefather Esau selling his birthright to us being Jacob, aka the Israelites, all right, of the captivity here in America, or the 12 tribes scattered abroad. All right, but again, sold your pathetic birthright. Now let's go back here. Let's rewind back and listen some more.
You know what game? You hiding behind your white boy privilege. You had to sit behind the desk and actually make a choice that would...
And it said white boy privilege. Now he did, granted, he did talk about him being a privileged so-called white man. But, adding this all together, but again, let's just continue listening.
Trust me, just knowing you is...
Of course I'm gonna believe that you killed Nate Sr. Anything to hold on to every pathetic crumb you think is your birthright. But you know what? Game over. The world doesn't belong to you and your good old boys anymore. It belongs to me.
Now look how you're looking. Point is, though, the world doesn't belong to you anymore. It belongs to me. Again, there's no context there for her saying that the world belongs to me. Why do I say that? If you look at 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and verse 9, it says that the end of the world is Esau and Jacob is the beginning that followeth. I'm paraphrasing. But I definitely think they were alluding to the so-called white man's rulership ending and the so-called black man or Israel are reigning over them, all right, in these last days. All right, and again, the so-called white man, the reason that he treats the so-called black man the way he does is because he's still salty about his birthright. All right, it says in the last verse in Genesis, the 25th chapter, I believe it's the 39th verse, it says that Esau despised his birthright. All right, so he's still pissed about that, huh? Whether we know that or not. But I believe that the directors of the show, they may be in the know. They may know what's going on, either directors or whoever's writing these actors' scripts. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's just hear this one last time and see if we kind of get the same understanding. And by the way, you know, in Hollywood and these different type of shows, movies, etc., you know, they know exactly what's going on. The average so-called black man or woman doesn't know who they are according to the scriptures, but I mean, they definitely do. You know, everybody's in on the joke, you know, that we don't know, but they do. So they pretty much just mock us in these type of shows all the time.
You control your whole life. Fear of losing status, losing face.
Fear of losing status, fear of losing face. The so-called white man is in fear of losing rulership right now. All right. Because, I mean, you got to think about it. Like a lot of people, they'll say things like white supremacy and things like that. But if you think about it, it's just the so-called white man trying to control his rulership. All right. If that makes sense. Like if you were in rulership, wouldn't you, you know, still try to do whatever you could to have preferential treatment for your own so you can maintain your kingdom? If you look out throughout the annals of history, that's what everybody else did, you know, including us. You know, you're going to have preferential treatment for your own. All right. So a lot of what's called white supremacy is really just a so-called white man trying to keep his own progeny, you know, his own kindred in rulership. You know, they lie to us and they lie to themselves too. That's why that, you know, the so-called white man, the average so-called white man thinks that he ruled in Europe for those 1,000 years in the Byzantine Empire, so on and so forth, but he really didn't. All right, that was us, the so-called black man and woman, you know, was in rulership all those years. But they have you believe that they've been in rulership from, I guess, the beginning, because they claim to be ancient Egyptians as well, which we're not Egyptian. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they claim to, you know, be those people too, and they know they're not. But they are scared of losing their status. They are scared of their rulership ending. That's why they're doing everything in their power to keep it alive. All right, so this is kind of linking into all this right now. And I believe that's why this is being said. You know, this was not, you know, again, if you watch this show, you had a context, it's not really worth, you know, kind of breaking down exactly this interaction in between. What's her name? I believe her last name is Davis, this actor here. Whatever her, Viola Davis. Is it Viola Davis? I believe it's Viola Davis. I could be wrong there though. Anyway, point is though, this interaction between these two people here, you don't really have to understand it to really see what's going on here. Again, let's go over one more time, man.
You're just so strong. Right?
At least I don't have.
Can I help you?
Excuse this for a second here. Here we go.
You want to talk about broken? Why the hell were you so scared of me the second that you met me? I could smell it off of you. It's why I never respected you.
Yeah, you don't respect anyone but you.
You let fear control your whole life. Fear of losing status, losing face.
Oh, and you're just so strong.
Yeah, fear of losing status. They scared of us ruling because the only thing that's stopping the so-called black man and woman from ruling is us knowing who we really are according to the scriptures. And really, this won't happen until Yahweh Shah or Christ, who the world calls Jesus Christ, until he comes back. But on the surface level, that's what's stopping us from gaining rulership. We just don't know we're supposed to be there. We don't know who we are.
At least I don't hide behind the color of my skin.
No, you're hiding in your anger.
No, that's you. Hiding behind your white boy privilege. You had to sit behind a desk and actually make a choice that would cost you
Yeah,
something.
trust me, just
So
knowing you
of
is
course
fucking-
I'm gonna believe that you killed Nate Sr. Anything to hold on to every pathetic crumb you think is your birthright.
See? All right.
But you know what? Game over. The world doesn't belong to you and your good old boys anymore. It belongs to me.
All right. So I just want to add on a little bit more here until we'll be analyzed on How to Get Away with Murder, Season 5, Episode 14, Make Me the Enemy. Now, again, on that last line there from on the show, Annalise Keating, she said something to the extent of, the world doesn't belong to you anymore. It belongs to me. It doesn't belong to you guys anymore. It belongs to me. And just check out the scripture. All right. It says 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9, right here, the one that's highlighted. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So I just find that interesting. Nothing on the show really alluded to her saying something like that. So it just seemed a little bit, not so much off that when you hear it, you be like, dang, why did she say this at all? But still, if you paying attention, you like, wait, this doesn't fully match with what's going on here. If you've seen the show, then you may agree with me there. So I do believe that was an allusion to the so-called white man's rulership ending. And, Jacob ruling in the beginning that followeth after Christ comes back and, he takes those that's in power right now. He takes them out of power. But I just want to see if anybody else picked up on that. And, that's pretty much it. Matter of fact, we might as well just get Genesis real quick, too, where I talked about this as well. Now, you see it says Genesis. We'll get this really quickly. It says Genesis chapter 25 and verse 29. And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that some red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore his name was Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. That's verse 31 right here. So, and we see here, you keep reading on down. Matter of fact, we'll just get it real quick. Verse 32, and Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. And then it says, then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So he sold his birthright. Now I know she said to hold on to your pathetic birthright, but what I'm saying is that's alluding to the so-called white man, aka Esau, being salty, in lack of better terms, is pretty pissed about selling his birthright over to us. All right. And it was talking about his rulership ending. All right. Now the world belongs to me. Her using the word world there. I mean, it was just a little bit, you see, she was talking about someone being murdered. It just really didn't fit. If it was only talking about the show, it just really didn't fit. And I'll just leave with this, a classic. Isaiah chapter 45 in verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded. world without end. That's why I believe she was referring to the world without end that's coming for the children of Israel when Christ comes back. All right, the everlasting salvation, the kingdom of heaven, aka New Jerusalem. Read Revelation, the 21st chapter. But anyway, that's pretty much it. All right.